The lazy boy and the hourglass that changed his fate. If you ever feel like you're wasting time or feeling lost in making the most out of life, take a few minutes to read this story. It might change the way you see your life. Once upon a time, in a small village, there was a boy named Matthew. He was known for his laziness, leaving his life to fate, with no clear goals, and often procrastinating important tasks. Although he had great potential to achieve wonderful things, Matthew believed he had his whole life ahead to make an effort. His family and friends constantly reminded him to value his time, but Matthew would simply smile and ignore their advice. One day, a wise and experienced man named John visited the village. He was renowned for his ability to help people find their true path. Hearing about John, Matthew grew curious and sought him out. Under the shade of a large Bodhi tree, Matthew bowed respectfully and expressed his desire to be guided. John smiled warmly, took out a small hourglass from his pocket and handed it to Matthew. He said, "Each grain of sand represents a moment of life. Once it falls, it is lost forever." Matthew watched intently as each grain of sand fell. Gradually, he realized that every passing moment was a precious opportunity that could never be reclaimed. And thus began Matthew's journey of transformation. John continued, "Time is the most precious gift that life offers us. Once it passes, it never returns. Each grain of sand symbolizes missed opportunities, delayed dreams, and untapped potential." Hearing these words, a mix of anxiety and determination surged within Matthew. He asked, "Then how can I change? How can I live a more meaningful life?" John smiled gently. "Start with small actions. Identify what matters most to you. Write down your goals. Break big tasks into simple steps. Complete each task with patience, and do not allow yourself to be distracted by meaningless things." Those who treasure time, he said, not only achieve success but also find true happiness. Matthew took every word to heart. He began planning his days, dedicating time to things that truly mattered, and patiently completing each small goal. Matthew learned to focus on one task at a time, instead of drifting among countless trivial distractions. Over time, his quiet efforts began to bear fruit. Tasks that Matthew once always postponed were now being completed one after another. He also discovered passions and hidden talents he had never realized before. Matthew's life gradually transformed day by day. He grew more confident, more mature, and happier. The villagers were amazed at his miraculous change. From a lazy boy, Matthew had now become a shining example of effort and appreciation for time. Everyone wondered, what ignited the willpower in the boy of the past? Beyond hard work, Matthew also learned to balance his life. He made time for his family and friends, cherishing every moment spent with his loved ones. Matthew realized that sometimes simple moments shared with loved ones were more precious than any achievement. Years went by, and Matthew, once an innocent boy, had grown into a wise and respected man. His life became a living testament to the power of cherishing every moment. When Matthew grew old, the villagers held a special ceremony to honor him, not just for his achievements, but for the values he had spread. The importance of living with purpose and treasuring time. Each afternoon, under the old Bodhi tree, Matthew would gather with the younger generation. With a warm smile, he would retell the story of the hourglass, of the days he once wasted, and of the moment that changed his entire life. He would say, "Time is not just a tool for success, but a thread that connects us to those we love. Use your time to live, to love, and to become the best version of yourself." Matthew's story spread far and wide, touching the hearts of those who felt lost. And thus, the lesson about the value of every second continued to be passed down, like grains of sand in an hourglass, falling but leaving behind eternal meaning in each person's life. As time went on, the story of Matthew and the lesson from the hourglass lived on. Young people in the village, inspired by Matthew, began setting their own goals, cherishing every moment, and living lives full of purpose. The once small village had now become a happy community, where each person strived their best and treasured every second spent with their loved ones. Under the old Bodhi tree, every afternoon, the sounds of laughter, storytelling, and sharing echoed through the air. And in everyone's heart, the image of Matthew, the once lazy boy who had become a symbol of transformation, remained vivid, always reminding them, time is the most precious gift, and every moment holds the power to create miracles.